As you and your fiancé embark on the incredibly exciting journey of planning your wedding, one of the most important aspects that you'll need to consider is how do you choose the perfect wedding photographer? After all, your wedding day is a series of magical moments, and you want your wedding photographer to be the person who captures every important glance, every loving kiss or tender touch, and just make sure that every single aspect of your day is captured just as you dreamed it would be. Also, with so many talented photographers out there, and sometimes not so talented photographers, how do you choose the right one for your wedding day who suits your dreams? Firstly, you need to pick a photographer who has a style that suits your vision. Every couple has a vision for their wedding day, and you need to be choosing a photographer who has a style that can encapsulate that vision and just bring that vision to life through their photos. Take some time on a tool like Instagram or Pinterest to look at different styles of photography, look at things like fine art, more traditional, more editorial, more candid, or perhaps even like a blend of those styles, and see which one suits you best. A helpful tip here is to really picture yourself in these photos that you're looking at and see if you can picture yourselves in that style and if that style suits your personalities. The next thing to consider is portfolio and expertise. This is a huge one. It cannot be understated. When evaluating photographer, you have to go through their portfolio, and especially their wedding portfolio. That way you can see what kind of expertise they have, you can see what kind of experience they have in shooting a wedding that looks like yours. Pay attention to composition, lighting, candid moments, and just the overall storytelling that some of the galleries they have. Now, one thing that I suggest to anyone who is planning their wedding is to ask for a full wedding gallery from a potential photographer. That's where you don't just get the highlight photos, you get the full package, and you can see exactly what the whole day is going to look like, and it's a lot easier to picture what your photos are going to look like if you pick them. A seasoned wedding photographer is going to be really good at anticipating the important moments. They'll know exactly how they can capture the candid shots without needing to pose it and stage it, and they're going to have a really nice flow throughout your day. Plus, if anything had to go wrong on the day, they've most likely experienced it before, and they'll have a fix on hand. That's going to make it a lot easier to enjoy your wedding. One other area of expertise that photographers could really come in clutch for is planning your wedding timeline. If they've gone to plenty weddings, they know kind of how the flow should work, what works, what doesn't, and planning your timeline, which can be one of the most difficult parts in your wedding prep, would be a lot easier if you have an experienced photographer helping you out with it. Connection and chemistry. For me, this is one of the most important ones that we're going to speak about. Your photographer is going to be someone who is with you probably most of the day. They're going to be with you longer than your bridal party. They're going to be with you longer than your other vendors. So it's really important that you feel comfortable with them, that they feel like a friend that's joining you on your wedding day. They also really need to help you feel comfortable and like your true self on the day. So someone that you feel like you can just relax with, someone that doesn't detract from your day at all by having them next to you the whole time, is going to be so important. Now, it can be quite difficult to gauge this just by looking through someone's Instagram or through their website. So what I would suggest is you actually go and ask if you can book a call with your photographer first. That way you can see, if you just click on that call, you can ask them a couple questions, and then over and above that, if possible, have an engagement session with them. That's going to be a really nice dress rehearsal for the day, but it will also be a chance to see how you interact together and whether you can picture this person being next to you on your wedding day. Reviews and recommendations are next. Now, this might seem like an obvious one. Obviously, you're going to go and look for someone who is really well rated, but it's something that can be very easily overlooked as well. If you are tossing up two different photographers, go for the one that has the best reviews or the one that has been recommended to you. Recommendations are such an important part of finding perfect vendors for your day. If someone that you know has had a good experience with them, most likely you are going to have a good experience with them as well. Packages and pricing are the next consideration. Now, obviously, you can compare prices between photographers, but I think you need to look a little bit more deeply than that. Naturally, we don't want to go for the cheapest person. The cheapest person is not going to have the expertise. They're not going to have the same kind of artistic eye that you're looking for. So I would actually suggest that you go for someone a little bit more expensive, provided that they can back up that price. Now, you're going to take a deep look into their package to see if they are then offering anything in addition to other photographers. It could be something like a coffee table album. Perhaps they include a complimentary engagement shoot. Perhaps they have full timeline planning sessions that they'll offer in addition to any kind of check-in calls. Now, I'm going to take a moment to chat about a little rule that I have. I'm not sure who actually came up with this, but I saw it online somewhere and I thought it was just perfect, and I've told it to all of my couples. there is a rule of 3 for weddings. And that really comes into play when you are putting your budget together. The idea here is that you pick the 3 things that are most important for you on your wedding day, and those are the things you don't mind spending a little bit more on, with the idea that you would then go and sacrifice some other areas of your wedding. Now, why the rule of 3 is so important is it means that if you have those things, those 3 things are what are going to make you the happiest. And if photography fits into one of those, then you naturally don't mind spending a little bit more to find a photographer who ticks every box, and you're not going to be sacrificing on any of their details. Flexibility and backup plans is the next consideration. This is one that is very easily forgotten about because no one wants to think about the worst case scenario on a wedding day. What happens if your photographer is in an accident on the way to the wedding and they aren't able to come shoot? Is there a backup plan? Do they have a second shooter who can come and shoot the wedding for them? Have they got perhaps even a third photographer who they can call in to come and assist? And do they have any kind of like refund policy if anything goes wrong? Now, we don't even need to think about worst case scenario in terms of them pitching up, but what happens if they lose all the photos somehow? Do they have some other way to compensate you? Are they going to offer another shoot where you can actually go and get some portraits of you in your dress and your suit? Or are they going to give you your money back like that? It's very, very important that these items are in a contract. And it's not a bad idea for you to ask the photographer straight up what happens if the worst case scenario arises. Now, weddings are such a whirlwind of emotions, and being able to go through your perfect gallery after your wedding day and being happy with the photos there is such a priceless feeling. Not only will a good photographer allow you to bring up those same emotions that you felt on the day, but also you're going to be a little bit more excited to then go and share those photos to the world and show them up in your house if you choose to print them. So take your time, trust your instincts, and do your research on photographers, because you want your gallery to be something that you enjoy for years and decades to come. Happy planning, and cheers to a lifetime of love, laughter, and fantastic wedding photos.